All right, guys, we are ready to finish this chapter. Edmund had just had his first encounter with the Queen of Narnia. Do you guys remember her? Was she a very nice queen? She seemed very harsh and very stern, but then she brought him in and fed him Turkish delight, and everything seemed to change about her and him, right? But what did he need to bring back to her? What did she ask for him to bring back in exchange for that Turkish delight? It was Peter and Susan and Lucy, right? So Edmund was left standing there by himself, and then he suddenly heard Lucy's voice. And so here's where we left off, where Lucy had just met up with him. He asked, "Where have you been?" Said, "If I'd known you got it in, I would have waited for you," said Lucy, who was too happy and excited to notice how snappishly Edmund spoke or how flushed and strange his face was. "I've been having lunch with Mr. Tumnus and the fawn, and he's very well, and the White Witch has done nothing to him for letting me go, so he thinks that she can't have found out, and perhaps everything is going to be all right afterwards." "The White Witch?" said Edmund. "Who is she?" "She is a perfectly terrible person," said Lucy. "She calls herself the Queen of Narnia, though she has no right to be the queen at all, and all the fauns and dryads and naiads and dwarfs and animals, at least all the good ones, they simply hate her. And she can turn people into stone. And she can do all kinds of horrible things. And she has made a magic so that it's always winter in Narnia. Always winter, but never gets to be Christmas." I would be so sad with that. "And she drives around on a sledge drawn by reindeer. And her wand in her hand and her crown on her head." Uh-oh. You think Edmund's feeling a little nervous right now? Edmund was already feeling uncomfortable from having eaten too many sweets, and when he heard that the lady he had made friends with was a dangerous witch, he felt even more uncomfortable. But he still wanted to taste that Turkish delight again, more than he wanted anything else. Oh my goodness, he wanted that candy more than he wanted anything else. "Who told you all that stuff about the White Witch?" he asked. "Mr. Tumnus, the fawn," said Lucy. "You can't always believe what fawns say," said Edmund, trying to sound as if he knew far more about them than Lucy. "Who said so?" asked Lucy. "Everyone knows it," said Edmund. "Ask anybody you like, but it's pretty poor sport standing here in the snow. Let's go home." "Yes, let's," said Lucy. "Oh, Edmund, I'm so glad you've gotten too. The others will have to believe in Narnia now that both of us have been here. What fun it'll be!" But Edmund secretly thought that it would not be as fun for him as it would be for her. He would have to admit that Lucy had been right. And he would have to admit that before the others. And he felt sure the others would all be on the side of the fawns and the animals, but he was already more than half on the side of the witch. Uh-oh. He did not know what he would say or how he would keep his secret once they were all talking about Narnia. By this time they had walked a good way. Then suddenly they felt the coats all around them instead of branches, and the next moment they were both standing outside the wardrobe in the empty room. "I say," said Lucy, you do look awful, Edmund. Don't you feel well?" "I'm all right," said Edmund, but this was not true. He was feeling very sick. "Come on then," said Lucy. "Let's find the others. What a lot shall we have to tell them, and what wonderful adventures we shall have now that we're all in it together." So Lucy was so happy. She was like, "Finally, Edmund knows. They're going to have to believe me. I could take my brothers and sisters. We could all go to Narnia." But is that a good idea? What do you think? What did the Queen of Narnia, that now we know is also the White Witch, what did she say? She wanted Edmund to bring who? Peter, Susan, and Lucy. I wonder what her plan is. Do you think her plan is good? Probably not. All right, let's wait. And tomorrow we'll find out what happens next. All right? Let me see what it's called. Back on this side of the door. So there's adventure happening on both sides. How much fun is that? Great. See ya.